We're back for season 2. How exciting! Just caused me to have a bit of a mental breakdown and I ended up where I ended up.
You're listening to You OK Home with Paige Horrocks, a podcast where we speak about success stories, mental health, body positivity and everything in between. I support the Trussell Trust and Mind Mental Health UK, so if you want to donate, the link is in my bio. Please enjoy.
Hello everybody and welcome back to You OK Home with Paige Horrocks, a podcast where we speak all about mental health, body positivity, self-care and everything and anything in between. So we are back for season 2. How exciting! I've been asked a lot about this. It's been a long time coming. I haven't recorded an episode for about a year and a half, and a lot of people have asked me when is season 2 coming, and I've just never really felt like the time was right. But as people who know me personally know, I have had a lot go on of recent, so I felt like now was kind of the right time to... How do I put this? This is more of a diary, if that makes sense. So like it's a way of me getting things off my chest, but it's also a way to kind of help inspire other people as well, especially people who have been feeling the same way that I've been feeling. So that's why I thought I would bring it back now. I am looking for guests for upcoming episodes, so if you are interested, please do let me know. But I am going to put a bit of a trigger warning on, well, not a bit of a trigger warning, a big trigger warning on this video, because what we're going to be speaking about in this video is heavily going to be around mental health and suicide. So if you are triggered by any of these topics, then please turn off now. The reason why I wanted to speak about these topics is people who know me... I'm going to have to try and get through this episode without getting upset. But basically, about 2 weeks ago, I sadly tried to take my own life. And it's been a very, very, very tough, not even just a few months, it's been a tough couple of years, I'd say, with one thing or another. And something happened, which I'll get on to kind of what happened a little bit later on, but something basically happened that was kind of like the trigger point for everything, and yeah, it just caused me to have a bit of a mental breakdown and I ended up where I ended up. So yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks. I've been spending the last couple of weeks trying to resolve some of the issues that I've had in life, so I will go through some of these as well, and kind of give what I've done for anybody else out there who's struggling the same way that I've been struggling. But one of the main reasons why I did what I did was because, so those who know me know I've got bipolar disorder, and one of the symptoms of bipolar disorder is psychosis. Now, psychosis, if you don't know what psychosis is, it is when you hear or see or feel things that are not there. So people get it confused with schizophrenia. It's not schizophrenia, it's different to schizophrenia. It's a symptom of certain mental disorders. And unfortunately, I suffer with psychosis. So my psychosis is I see figures and I hear voices. I don't see the figures as much as I hear the voices. The voices are the main one for me. But the voice on the day in question that I did try to take my life was way too loud to control that day. What my voice is like is it's a male voice that sits on the left side of myself, and it's basically, depending on how I'm feeling and what's going on at the time, it depends on where it is. So if I'm going through if I'm a bit upset and a bit's going on, then it can be, quite far away and I can kind of push it back. The worse I get, the closer it gets to me. And it's basically like somebody screaming down your ear. And due to things that have been going on in life, that's why I ended up suffering the way that I suffered. So this voice, it's basically like a bully. It tells you that you're worthless, that you're fat, you're ugly, all that kind of stuff. But every now and then it will chime in with things like, you need to die, you're not worth living on this earth anymore, and it'll just basically try and get you to kill yourself, basically. And that day, it was so loud down my ear telling me that I needed to go and jump off a bridge. I needed to take an overdose. I didn't deserve to be here anymore. It was a lot, and I had been feeling like I didn't want to be here anymore prior to that as well. So I don't really fully understand the voices. The voice is not my voice, it's a male voice. But I don't know whether the voice interprets what I'm feeling and does it in a big way. I don't know. I don't understand them. I've never really been taught about them. I just got told that you've got psychosis as part of your bipolar disorder, and nothing kind of ever really got followed up with it. So I never really kind of had like sessions where they would teach me about it and things like that. I just kind of got on with it. And for most of my life, they've been absolutely fine. It's just every now and then they get quite bad, and they get quite unbearable. So that's the main reason why I did what I did that day. Obviously I had been feeling like I didn't want to be here prior to that as well, due to other stresses in life. And you know what, to normal people, well, not normal people, to the average person, these stresses that I've been having are just your typical everyday stresses. So I've got a new job, so I've been stressed about that. I'm a new driver, I've been stressed about that. I've got a lot of body issues at the minute. And these are just kind of typical everyday things that people experience, and probably some people wouldn't take them as, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I've gone completely mind blank. But people wouldn't take them on the chin as much as I do. And I don't know whether that's due to my disorder, that I take things a bit more harder than other people. And I've always been like that. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been like that. It's kind of part of the reason why they found out that I had bipolar disorder, was because of that. So, but one of the main factors that I've had in my life of recent is I have been feeling super, super, super lonely. Now, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have big group of friends. I don't even have a group of friends. I have a couple of friends dotted about. I have a lot of acquaintances, but I don't have anybody that I can just pop round to their house and go for a brew. I don't have anybody who I can just ring up. I don't have anybody like that. And it's funny because you get people messaging you saying, oh, I'm here for you, but and it is truly appreciated, the people that have messaged me, but because I don't know whether it's just because I'm quite a sensitive person, I don't feel like that I can just reach out to certain people. I feel like I have to be very, very close to you in order to reach out to you, and that's probably a me thing. That's something that I need to work on. But yeah, like I say, I have a lot of acquaintances, and I would love to make some of these acquaintances, close friends, and maybe I will one day. But for the last couple of years, that's where my life's been at. It's just been very lonely. I've had a couple of friends here in between, but they've ended up turning out to be quite toxic towards me, so I've ended up having to, cut off contact with these people, and, everything is trial and error. We do, but I've tried all the different avenues of trying to find a best friend. I've tried Facebook groups, I've tried looking at hobbies, I've looked at Bumble BFF, and it's so hard to make friends when you're in your late 20s. Like, everybody's already got their established friends, and even the girl who I would class as my best friend, she lives over an hour away, so I can't just pop round to hers, and she's also a very busy woman as well and doesn't have a lot of time for me. So again, I feel like I can't completely reach out to her as well. But again, these are all me problems, and they are something that I need to work on. So that's been my main thing, obviously, being completely alone, being completely isolated, not having anybody to kind of, not rely on, but somebody that I can, just ring up and have a chat, go around for a brew, book bottomless brunches with, all these kind of things. I don't have that luxury. And then obviously not having a partner as well, you know, I am at a point in my life, I mean, I'm 28, I would like a family one day, and I still live at home, not even the slightest bit closest to meeting somebody. I'm on all dating apps, but I'll be honest, they're all a load of shite. Excuse my French. Yeah, I mean, that'll come when it comes. That's not my main issue at the minute, to be honest with you. My main issue is the friendship side of things. A relationship, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe that'll come when it comes. So just a little bit of advice for anybody out there who is kind of in the same boat as me, who is ready to settle down, who does want to start a family someday, but they are still on their own. Everything happens for a reason, and I believe that if you go out there looking for it, it'll never come. No, sorry, that's a lie. I don't believe in that. What I believe in is you've got to be looking for something, because somebody's not going to come knocking on your door and say, hello, I'm your soulmate. You know, you've got to be a bit proactive out there. But if you everything happens for a reason, and the right people come in your life at the right times. So the right person will come along one day. I truly believe that, and I believe that for everybody. I feel like I know for a fact that everybody has their soulmate, has their perfect person. So if you're feeling the same way as me, your perfect person will come along one day. And I mean, I know one of my family members, she was in her 30s when she got married, I think. She's got 2 little kids now, and she's in her 40s. So, you know, she waited a little bit later on in life, but she's now got that little perfect little family set up. So, you know, these things do happen, whether it is a little bit later on in life or not. But yeah, like I say, the main issue is my friendship. So if anybody would like to be my friend, anybody in the Greater Manchester area, you know, I'm always down for a brunch, I'm always down for going out on days out. I'm a hype gal. This sounds like I'm begging now. I've completely lost my train of thought. This is the great thing about these podcasts, like, because they're so unscripted, you just kind of lose your train of thought and you don't really know where you're going with your next point. I don't really write things down either. I probably should write down points. The only thing I've wrote down is I've got in front of me a list of what I went through with my mum the other day, so I've just got it in front of me just in case there was anything on this list that I wanted to share with you guys. But yeah, I don't write a script for these, so if I sound like I'm talking out of my ass, I do apologise. But anywho, moving on to, you know, a couple of other things as to why I ended up the way that I ended up. So I've got a lot of body issues at the minute. Now, I'm supposed to be the body positivity queen. I'm supposed to be the person who, you know, love your body for no matter what and always love yourself, and I've lost that. I have well and truly lost that. Probably over the last year, I'd say. You know, I used to love getting dressed up, taking photos for my Instagram, making content for TikTok, doing these podcasts. There was so many things in regards to like body positivity that I loved doing. And I completely lost my spark for that. I don't really sit and do my makeup anymore. I dread when somebody asks me to go out and I think, oh my god, I've got to do my hair. I don't take photos for Instagram anymore. You know, I don't even buy makeup anymore, which I really want to get back into it, because I absolutely love makeup. I think it's an art. I think it's beautiful. I just don't have that motivation anymore, and I don't know whether it's because I'm absolutely hating the way I look and hating my body at the minute, which there is only me that can change that. But on the other side of things, I have got health conditions as well. I've got asthma, so I struggle with exercise. I've got polycystic ovaries, so I struggle with my weight. With my polycystic ovaries as well, I've got hirsutism, which is where you have excessive body and facial hair. So that really puts like a dampener on me, because I feel like I've just constantly got to be shaving my face. I get body hair. You know, I shave and then it comes back an hour later, and it's just all these different things that have made me completely fall out of love with myself. And I want to get that girl back, because I look back. This is the reason why I used to take photos for my Instagram and make content for my TikTok and stuff. It wasn't so that I was noticed by other people and stuff. It was for me. It was so that I can look back on these moments and go, look how confident I look there, or look how much of a great time I'm having there. It's all about memories for me, and I don't really give a shit about how many likes I've got, how many followers I've got. I don't care about any of that. Like, my TikTok, I used to have 21,000, I'm down to just over 20 now. So, I've lost nearly 1,000 followers. Am I doing anything to build that back up? No. Because I don't really care about followers. I don't care about likes. I know some people who, if they only get a couple of likes on a picture or a video, they'll delete it. I don't do that because I make this content for me, and because I've not been feeling great over the last year or so, I haven't done that. I haven't made content for me because I don't want to look at me. And I know that sounds really sad and really, quite sad. I just said sad. But yeah, it sounds quite sad. But this isn't the memories that I want to look back on. I don't want to look back on these times where I hated myself. Maybe I won't remember hating myself in, a few years to come. Well, I will. But it's difficult. I just don't want to remember these times, and I want to get back to loving myself, but I don't even know where to start. So if anybody has got any tips or anything like that, I have got a doctor's appointment to speak about my polycystic ovaries. I am going back to the gym as well, so there are a couple of things that I'm doing to start. Whether they'll help me in loving myself, I don't know, but if anyone's got any tips, please do put them in the comments box down below or message me, because I do miss loving myself. I used to be a boss ass bitch, and that boss ass bitch is gone, and she needs to come back. The girl I was when I was doing pageants, she was an incredible human. Like, I just wanted to fight the world, and not fight the world, sorry, not in that way. I mean, I just wanted everybody to love each other, and I just wanted to fight all of these different causes and show that everybody's beautiful, and there was all these different things that I wanted to do, and I want to get her back, but unfortunately I can't do pageants anymore. So it's like, how do I get her back without the hobby that I had alongside of it? Does that make sense? I'm asking like somebody's going to answer me here. No one's going to answer me. But yeah, I hope that makes sense anyway, because we miss her, we miss the boss ass bitch, we miss that queen. So fingers crossed we can get her back at some point. So I'm just looking at my list and seeing if there's anything else that I wanted to discuss. So obviously I've spoke about my lack of friendships and stuff. I'm going to speak a little bit about my bipolar as well, because I feel like we need to educate a bit more on bipolar. Now, I can only speak about bipolar from my perspective. Now, I have had bipolar. It was mentioned to me when I was 13, and I got diagnosed when I was 17. And I'm now 28, so I've been suffering for a very long time. They think that I've had it since I was a kid, to be honest with you. I could have potentially been born with it. We're not 100% sure, because nobody else in my bloodline has got bipolar disorder, so we don't know where it's come from, we don't know what's triggered it. But with bipolar can either be hereditary or it can be brought on by a trigger. Now, like I said, we don't know where mine's come from. Nobody that we know of in my bloodline's got it. And nothing really triggered me as a kid. I didn't have a horrific childhood. I had two loving parents. I had siblings. Yeah, I was bullied, but is that enough to bring on bipolar? I don't know. But anywho, that's how bipolar is brought on. It is brought on either hereditary or by a trigger. And unfortunately with bipolar disorder, it is not something that you can just take some tablets for a few months and it goes away. If you've got it, you've got it for life, and it's something that you have to manage. So you have to manage kind of your friendships around it, your relationships around it. You have to take medications every day, which I have not taken today. I will take them after this. But yeah, you've got to take medications every day. You've got to look out for your triggers, and it can be quite exhausting, to be honest with you. So one of my biggest triggers, and this is going to sound ridiculous, is people. Now, what I mean by people is, if there are any negative vibes around me, so say for example you go into the supermarket and somebody starts kicking off with a shop attendant. That negative vibes around me can have an impact on me, and that can trigger me off. So I don't like seeing people argue, I don't like seeing people have confrontation, I don't like any of it. So like, if like two people who are close to me, say if they start having an argument or something, I can't deal with it. If somebody seems like they're in a mood with me, I need to fix that straight away. I can't do confrontation, I can't do negative vibes. There's all these, the negativeness I can't do. And I know that we can't avoid negativity. Fortunately, we live in a negative world for a start. But yeah, we can't avoid it, but it's not something that, I mean, it probably doesn't help anybody, but it triggers me quite badly. Another thing that triggers me is probably the, what's it called? I've lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. I've been talking for 20 straight minutes now. But another thing that triggers me is the loneliness, like I've already spoke about. I'm not going to go through that too much, but loneliness does trigger me. I have learned to be by myself, something I used to really struggle being on my own. I have learned to enjoy my own company, but I've now got to a point where my own company is too much and I need some nice people around me. Don't get me wrong, I live with my mum and she's great. We get on really well, we never have arguments or anything like that. So I have got that bit of company when, you know, if I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic in my bedroom or whatever, you know, I can go down and chat with my mum or something. But if there's days like while I've been off sick, you know, my mum's been at work or whatever and I've just been feeling a bit, could do with a bit of company, I haven't got anybody that I can have that company with, which is a bit sad. But yeah, so they're two of my main triggers. Obviously there are other triggers as well. I'm not going to go into them because they're a bit deeper and probably not right for this episode, but they're my main triggers. And everybody's triggers are different, so no two bipolars are the same. Like me and another girl who I used to know, her triggers were completely different. I can't remember what hers were, but I remember we were the complete opposites when it came to our disorders. And yeah, everybody's different, everybody's cycle's different. So my cycle is typically once a year, I'd say. I'd have a manic for about a week or 2 weeks, then I'd go into a depression for about a week or 2 weeks. I would then have hypomania and mild depression at different points throughout the year, and my depression will always mimic my manic. So if I've been manic for say 2 or 3 days, I'll then have a depression for 2 or 3 days. It's not always like exactly spot on, but it's always around the same amount of time. But some people can have manics for 6 months and then have a depression for 3 days, or they can have a manic for 2 days but have a depression for 6 months. And you know, everybody is different, everybody's cycle's different. Some people, their cycle could be like every 2 weeks. I'm very grateful that my bipolar has been brought under control enough to not have that. When I was younger, it was a bit of a disaster, but now, you know, with the medication and whatnot, I am quite lucky that I have managed to not get rid of my cycle, because obviously I still have one, but it's nowhere near as severe as other people, so I am grateful for that. But yeah, that's basically what bipolar is. Bipolar, everybody thinks that bipolar is just a mood swing. It's not a mood swing. It's, you know, like I said, you've got your manics, you've got your depressives, you've got your psychosis, you've got your triggers. It's not just you feeling happy 1 minute and then sad the next. That is a mood swing. That's not bipolar. And what really pisses me off is when I see things on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff that says like, oh, my playlist is so bipolar, 1 minute I'm happy, next minute I'm sad. I'm like, that's not bipolar. And I'm not a snowflake, don't get me wrong, but I'm a snowflake when it comes to things like that, because it really pisses me off, because, you know, it demoralises what we actually go through as bipolar. I nearly said bipolar bears then. My mum calls me a bipolar bear, so that's just the way that we, you know, take it on the chin. But that's the way that us bipolar people, you know, I forgot what I was saying again. Anywho, that's bipolar in a nutshell. That is what I suffer with, and you know, I do suffer with anxiety as well, which we all know what anxiety is. I feel like we are in a society at the minute where depression, anxiety, OCD, those kind of mental health disorders are a bit more recognised now. I'm not saying that they are fully recognised and they are fully accepted, because they're not, but they are more recognised than there's, like, so say bipolar, schizophrenia, those kind of things. So, you know, by doing these podcasts and, you know, me speaking about my experiences and my truth, if that can help kind of anybody and help fight the stigma around things, then I am more than happy to do these things. But I am going to wrap it up there, because I have been talking for 25 straight minutes and I really need a drink now. So thank you very much for listening. This podcast is going to go out I'm going to aim for a Thursday, but because I work shifts, it may potentially be a day before, a day later, but they are going to be every single week, these podcasts. I'm going to try and keep them up every week. I am looking for guests for my next episode as well, so if you've got anything that you want to speak about in regards to mental health, body positivity, if you want to share a success story, if you want to just express how you have overcome something, anything along those lines, I am all ears. I am waiting to talk to you, so just drop me a message and we will get you booked on for the next episode. I can do them either in person or over Teams, so I can do them for people who are far and wide as well. So thank you very, very much for listening, and stay tuned for every single week. Thank you.